Hi, good morning, everyone. Another consecutive um, day of video recording. I didn't have enough sleep yesterday, but I was doing the other video for you. But I like to share my experience of living in Los Angeles. I married over from Boston to Los Angeles back in 2012. My experience, I like to share my experience contrasting these two cities. One is Boston, where the Puritans first landed in, the Puritans landed in 1620 in Plymouth um, with the Mayflower, they established the first public school in America in 1635, which was my alma mater, Boston Latin School. And 1 year later, supposedly Harvard was founded to receive Boston Latin's first graduating class. So in Boston, we had a very strong Christian culture. You know, there are a lot of historical churches like Park Street Church, um, Trinity Church in the Copley Square. There's King's Chapel, but ever since I remember we used to celebrate Christmas in Boston Latin School. I think I used to be in the concert choir in Boston Latin School. We used to sing like Hallelujah chorus during Christmas time. We never I From what I remember, we never celebrated any Halloween in any public schools in Boston. I went through middle school, high school, through college in Boston. We you know they I mean, they can celebrate Halloween individually in their individual families, but they never really formally host Halloweens in public schools. Whereas in Los Angeles, compared to what I experienced, my kids were um, actually they both of they go to two public schools here, um, and their teachers somehow just try to force Halloween onto them, which is what I don't like. For me, Halloween is a satanic holiday, and the sad thing is, uh, I think like last year, they had three Amber Alerts in 2 consecutive days around the Halloween season. Last year, my older child's homework consisted of a whole month of satanic themes in Los Angeles here. Um, she like the from the start of October to the end of October, every single day she brought home with homework containing like themes, like satanic themes, like zombies, haunted houses, witches, and all that stuff. And I was doing homework with her. I was like, what are they teaching the kids here? What are they teaching, the children here? I mean, some people don't like me using the word kids, so I'm going to use children from now on, because kids are like male goats, baby goats. But yeah, so my experience is I started searching for an answer here. I was like, why are kids being forced to celebrate Halloween in Los Angeles? I never experienced this in Boston. I had a hard time pulling them out of the Halloween parades in Los Angeles here. I had to. I think the teachers here think that I'm a weirdo or something. Well, they think that Halloween is a fun season for the kids. They're having candies, trick or treating. Why are you stopping them from having fun? But I'm like, I hardly buy candies for my kids anyways. I mean, for their own teeth, to protect their own teeth. And according to my research, they put pins, they put sharp objects in some of the candies. And the witches, actually, Halloween is a high time for satanic rituals. That's why so many kids are missing in the United States. They're by the hundreds of thousands. I mean, a lot of them are kidnapped for, child sacrifice. Satanist activities are very high in um, United States, especially in Los Angeles. So I started getting really scared, and I mean, from the Amber Alerts I received ever since I came through to Los Angeles. I've never heard about Amber Alerts when I was in Boston, but ever since I came over here, my phone rings every now and then with the Amber Alerts, or Silver Alert is alerting elderly kidnapping or abduction. Amber Alert is alerting child abduction, or a child missing. So I'm just baffled by the culture here. And from researching online, I found this very good ministry called Good Fight Ministries, with Pastor Joe. schema, exposing satanic music industry. And I finally realized all of those bad things that happen in Hollywood have to do with Satan worship. Basically, just like in the Old Testament days, the Canaanites, sacrificed children. They passed children through the fire to the demon Moloch. They did human sacrifice. They had shrine prostitution. They had sex orgies. It's the same happening here with the devil worshippers in Hollywood. I mean, not just Hollywood, but a lot of like Satanists around this country. I mean, especially active in Los Angeles. They do the same thing, abducting people, human trafficking, child abuse, child sacrifice, human sacrifice, kidnapping kids. And the scary thing is sometimes from doing my own online research, I found that a lot of things happen in the dark web, and it's pretty scary. So I really encourage people not to celebrate Halloween because it's not. If you're a Christian, you shouldn't do that. I mean, you don't want to sacrifice your kids to the devil. I mean, it's not just about trick or treating. You're just compromising your belief. And secondly, like in during Halloween season, they talk about zombies, they talk about witches, haunted houses, and all that stuff. But when it comes to Christmas here, they ask for parental permission to celebrate this holiday. They wouldn't say Christmas. They would ask for permission to ask if they can celebrate Christmas. I mean, this holiday in the schools. I'm like, why don't you ask for parental permission during Halloween season? Why do you, when it comes to Halloween, you don't ask for my permission? You actually force my kids to go into Halloween parades. But when it comes to Christmas, you ask for my permission. I'm like, I have no problem celebrating Christmas, but when it comes to Christmas, it's not about Jesus Christ. It's not about Jesus Christ's birth. It's about Christmas tree. It's about Santa Claus. They do that in public schools. They talk about Santa Claus giving gifts, Christmas trees, instead of talking about the real person of Christmas. You can't have Christmas without Christ. But they kick Jesus. They kick God out of public schools. They keep Satan in schools. I mean, they secularize Christmas. But when it comes to Halloween, they keep all the demons in Halloween. Why can't they kick all the demons out of Halloween and just talk about the pumpkin day? Happy pumpkin day. The same thing when they do. They do the same thing for Thanksgiving. They would say Happy Turkey Day. They wouldn't say Thanksgiving because they want nothing to do with God. They are secularizing all the Christian holidays, making them into something materialistic. Like in Thanksgiving or Christmas is about giving gifts or eating turkey or standing in front of a Christmas tree or posting pictures of Santa Claus. But those are Christian holidays. And when it comes for Easter, it's not about Jesus' resurrection. It's about bunnies, about eggs. I mean, they basically keep all the satanic themes in Halloween. But I would like to see a Halloween without any zombies or without any witches or without any haunted houses. That would be great. But they're doing the opposite. They keep Satan in school. They kick God out of public schools. And then another thing I discovered in Los Angeles is that I did not see in Boston is that the schools here are somehow underfunded. Massachusetts, Boston is the capital city of Massachusetts. They provide a lot of funding for each student. So from what I remember, my parents were never required to donate to the public schools. They were never required to, give gifts or donate paper or donate pencils or donate this and donate that to the schools. But here, they always ask for donations. I mean, every month, one of my children went to a kindergarten in a local school here. They ask for donations every month. They have a list of things asking parents to do to donate, and I'm just like, why are you so underfunded? I mean, you have the highest, California has the highest tax rate in the country. Compared to Massachusetts. Yes, everything is expensive in Los Angeles, everything is expensive in Boston, but comparatively speaking, the tax rate in Boston is not as high as in Los Angeles in California. they should have sufficient funding for each student compared to the students in Massachusetts. They get, Massachusetts is number one currently. It ranks number one in education and number two in healthcare. I mean, we have a lot of Harvard affiliated hospitals. I had the honor to intern in Mass General Hospital and Brigham and Women's Hospital in the past. You know, those two are the two principal teaching hospitals for Harvard Medical School. And it's a very good scholastic environment in Boston. There's history, there's culture, there's, you know, the whole, Christian culture versus the satanic culture in Los Angeles is just like a big contrast for me. And I'm just thinking to myself, I need to move back to Boston for my children's future. I mean, and if you come to Los Angeles, you can come to and visit the downtown area. As a lot of homeless people, they just set up camps in downtown. Whereas in Boston, the homeless people are usually, Boston is cold. It's hard for a homeless person to live on the street during winter times, but they have a lot of subsidized housing for the, you know, the homeless people. So it's a big contrast, and I like to just point that out. And I would suggest anybody planning to move to Los Angeles to live here, first of all, consider the high cost of living. Yes, we have high cost of living in Boston as well, but comparing the culture, I would say I like the Boston Christian culture, Puritan culture, better than the one in Los Angeles. I mean, yes, we have Salem too, where they had the Salem witch trial, but overall, it was a, pretty predominant Puritan culture. And, Boston Latin School, the oldest school in America, Harvard University, both were founded by the Puritans. And of course, right now they are, secular school, but, they were founded by the Puritans, the Christians. Yeah, so, and another thing I discovered about Hollywood culture, I knew about the sex and violence, production, Hollywood production. Their productions are usually full of sex and violence. In almost all of their movies is about like haunting, about like ghosts, or about like, they have like some, um, uh, satanic theme movies. But ever since I came to California, it's more evident. Um, and I totally understand after having gone through Pastor Joe Skimel's Good Fight Ministry. I finally understand why, because they worship the devil, and so a lot of these, drug use issues, drug abuse issues, drug overdose issues have to do with satanic rituals. I mean, they use drugs, hallucinogens, to help them achieve highs, and then somehow they so a lot of kids go missing in California, and just beware. I mean, I'm not even kidding. I mean, just watch out for your kids here in California. And then they have like sex orgies, which is, another part of satanic rituals. And, that's why their movies are always full of sex and violence. I mean, their productions are pretty blasphemous of God. Anything that has to do with God has to be blasphemed. Like, for example, for Christmas, they will produce a Grinch to blaspheme God's holiday. But then when it comes to Halloween, wow, a lot of, paranormal theme movies. I mean, like they released the film Maleficent. Maleficent basically is a evildoer from malus. Malus is a Latin word for bad. Facio, facio, facere, feci, factum. That's a word for to make, to do. So Maleficent means evildoer. She's the character from Sleeping Beauty. And you got like Happy Death Day. I mean, like here in Los Angeles, if you drive around the street, they have these Hollywood productions plastered on on the buses, on like billboards, on the highway. You see them all the time, and I'm just like, I'm not quite used to these kinds of environments here. A lot of, I mean, what are they teaching the kids here? Even for Christians here, they're so used to their kids going on trick or treating, they don't even think about like, I never celebrated Halloween in Boston, not in public schools, not privately at home, but here it seems like even the Christians do that. And I had a church right next door. They had trunk or treat, and we went there like last year, um, and I discovered they were blasting like satanic music, and with people wearing like those Halloween costumes, and I'm just like, am I in a church or am I So it's pretty amazing living here. It's just like, wow, what is this culture here? It's like a lot of this brainwashing, and once again, I mean, like, now you understand why Hollywood is like that, because after going through Good Fight Ministries videos, I discovered that the problems here in California, and basically there are a lot of Democrats here. They support the same value as what the Satanists support. Satanists, Aleister Crowley's belief is, what is it? The slogan. His slogan was, "Do what thou wilt, do whatever you want," versus what God wants. So basically, Democrats support the same liberalism that the Satanists support. They support gay marriage. I mean, as long as marriage is not between a man and a woman, it can be between two men, two women, several men, whatever, with an animal, with a tree, whatever. Just as long as they blaspheme God's creation, anything goes. And don't think about liberalism as just some weird ideas. Satan is behind it. Um, and not just liberalism, but I mean, I talk about, gay marriage. I mean, I saw some of the testimonies, and I think that the LGBT group want to make themselves into victims of persecution. They always pose themselves as victims needing protection from people. I mean, think about it. How would they feel? I mean, they don't want Christian values to be imposed upon them, but they want their values to be imposed onto everyone else. It's different from racial issues or ethnic issues. LGBT rights. I mean, you can keep do this stuff at home, but don't force it onto everyone else, and don't expect everyone to accept your value. And if people don't accept your value, you sue them. You claim to be victimized. You claim to be the victims of their discrimination. How will you feel if we, as Christians, we impose our values onto you, and sue you for you not accepting Christian values. This goes the same way. So I mean, a lot of times they pretend to be victims. They have like gay parades and all that, LGBT right parades, and openly flaunt their sexual immorality and promiscuity in the air. I'm like, you can keep it to yourself. Don't flaunt it, and don't force everyone to accept it, and then come around to pretending to be victims. I just have they talk about they have the inherited gay genes, and I often think to myself, where do you get the gay genes from? Like your parents were not gay, otherwise you wouldn't have been born. Your parents had to be heterosexual. You could have been adopted by a homosexual couple, but you have to be born by a heterosexual parent, or you wouldn't have been born. And anatomically speaking, if you study the reproductive systems of a man and a woman, they fit. That's what the Bible teaches. To become one. But I mean, how do you beget offspring from two men or two women having a union? I mean, they're not gonna give birth to any kids. That's the end of human race. So, and they talk about they have gay genes, so I don't know where they get the gay genes from. I mean, and in regard to like child abduction and all that, I have a big issue with that, because I'm a big proponent for protecting kids, and I have a big issue with even Christians celebrating. I mean, you can go to the graveyard or cemeteries or whatever during Halloween season, but don't force it on the kids. Okay, those are innocent kids, and we wonder why the kids are playing Ouija board these days and expose themselves to like, all of those satanic stuff. That's because they have been watching too much, Hollywood production, and they bring guns to the school. And I mean, there are a lot of school lockdowns in California. I've never seen this in Boston. My kids' schools are always having lockdowns. Some kids are having troubles here, and we wonder why we have like school shootings or mall shootings. It's very easy. Just listen to the satanic music like Eminem and all the, there's a, listen to their lyrics. They're basically promoting violence. They're brainwashing our kids, telling them to do crimes, do drugs, drop out of school, kill people, commit suicide. That's, listen to the lyrics. And instead of boycotting, you know, banning guns, I think we should boycott Hollywood, satanic music industry, you know, guard their minds. It's got nothing to do with guns. Even if they confiscate all the guns in the world, you know, brainwashed kids are still going to use like knives or scissors or like chainsaws to kill people. Even they can even use a toy to kill a person if they want to. So it's not the object's problem. The guns didn't go to schools or malls to shoot people. I mean, the Second Amendment rights were given to us by, the founding fathers to protect our own safety. I mean, like, and they're blaming all the crimes on the guns. It's got nothing to do with the guns. It's got to do with satanic music, brainwashing. So protect our kids' minds, keep them away from Halloween, keep them away from Hollywood. And I urge people to boycott Hollywood. It's just like I live around the corner. It's not a good culture here. And I'm really ready to move out after several years in Los Angeles. My husband is not ready to move out, but I am really ready to move out. I want my kids to be exposed to good culture. Their children are blank sheets of paper. Whatever you put on the blank sheet of paper is what they will become. Don't give them lies. Don't give them bad influences. Tell them what is right and what is wrong. So that is just my opinions on Los Angeles. I mean, yes, it's a Los Angeles is Spanish for the angels. The Angeles is the angels, and it's more like a Los Angeles city, a fallen angel city to me. And I just hope people can discern that, and yes, it's a lot of sunshine here. Yes, you can find sunshine in a lot of cities or countries around the equator. It's not about sunshine, it's about the culture here. And I hope we can have the discernment. And well, thank you for listening to my my sharing today, and I hope you have a good day.